Well, hello and welcome. So glad you're here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Linda Coblin and I'm a mindfulness-based wellness coach. And if you do like this content and would like to see more of it, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Okay, so today's video, I want to talk about people pleasing and considering the gray area. And I'll let you know what I mean by this. So as people pleasers, we tend to be highly sensitive. Um, we have this real need to control our environment because we're really looking to get that validation from other people. And this need to control how other people think and feel about us really holds us back from being able to step into expressing ourselves, setting boundaries, letting people know what we really think and what we really feel. And if you really take a close look, I would like to suggest that our thoughts tend to be very, very black and white, or kind of like in extremes. We tend to see things as either good or bad. Either we've done something well and we're good, or we screwed up and now we're totally useless. Or if I do the right thing, someone's going to really like me. And if I screw up, God, they're just going to not want anything to do with me, right? Or things have to be a yes or no, kind of like in absolutes. And this is kind of like a real, if I might say, a childlike way of being. And I speak from my own personal experience from being in that place, but also from really growing out of it. And this is why I really want to share this with you. So I mean childlike in that we're kind of stuck. We can be stuck in that place of extreme thinking, yes and no's and black and white, as children are in very early development before they learn that there are gray areas in life, that things can be worked on, be changed over time, so that they can grow and learn about themselves. So in this video, I really want to bring out that concept of feeling stuck in this people-pleasing way of needing to please others, looking for validation from others, and how this really holds us back from growing and evolving as human beings. So this is where I present this idea of the gray area. If things, instead of things being extreme, black and white, yes and no, let's consider things being everything in between that, so that we can get unstuck from this sense of fear, of rejection, and needing to control to feel okay about ourselves. So in the gray area, things have a way of evolving. Things can change in a gray area. They're in progress. And specifically to setting boundaries or saying no or expressing ourselves, we can look at this gray area as an opportunity, if we're willing to put ourselves kind of at risk, or to be vulnerable, that we can work with people. Because this always involves working with other people, right? We share our boundary or our yes or our no or our opinion with others. We get a response from them, which is usually the real scary part, right? Because then we're either going to be bad or not good or rejected. But we can work in this zone of, we express ourselves, we get a response, and then we sit with that experience and allow ourselves to learn, feel, and then add to that experience so we can change it or move it towards where we would like it to be, for both our own personal interests and for the interests of the relationship, right? So in order to be able to enter into this gray area as people pleasers and people who are fairly highly sensitive, there's a few steps I want to invite you to consider. So, and I can hang this on a personal experience that I had recently with my husband, where I had something I really wanted to say, and it really had a lot to do with how I was perceiving his behavior, and I wanted to see a shift in it. And of course, I was thinking about this, and how I was going to approach it. I was uncomfortable and I was scared because I didn't know, how he was going to react to it and what I was going to do with that reaction. But I knew that in order for me to feel comfortable and for our relationship to grow, I had to step into this feeling of unknown. Okay, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to control completely what was going on here. So number one is we have to be willing, if we want to really move into being more comfortable with setting boundaries and so forth, we have to be willing to enter into a situation and not have control over it. We have to be willing to be with the unknown and know that and trust that we can deal with it, can take the action immediately or over time to create a situation that works for ourselves and the other person. Okay, so we have to be willing to step into that area of discomfort, okay, of not being in control of what the other person might say or do. And in order to do this, we need to be able to pause and sense into ourselves what is actually going on, how it feels in our body when we have decided to express ourselves or say no. Okay, so we've decided we're willing to step into the situation. We say what we need to say, and now we pause and just allow ourselves to feel, because it's at this point, if we don't pause and allow ourselves to feel, we go right into judging ourselves, into putting our judgments onto the other person, assuming that they are mad at us or they are unhappy with us or disagreeing with us. Like, we automatically do that because we're so scared, right, of the response we're going to get, that we might even immediately assume how the other person is feeling and thinking. And we also might be in that fear state. Oh God, I've said what I said. It's all going to be bad now, right? So we go into that extreme thinking because we're trying to protect ourselves. And this is what the mind naturally does. Okay, it naturally wants to think the worst so that we can pull in and protect ourselves. But when we really look, that's not serving us, right? So we don't want to allow that negative thinking and fear thought to stop us from being here and being able to work with the response that we're going to get and what we have to do next, right? So we need to pause and take that breath and really allow ourselves to be in this very vulnerable, scary situation that we know we want to run from, but that we know we need to step into. Okay, so that's the second stage, is just really pause and allow ourselves to feel how we feel without giving in, saying, okay, I changed my mind, I'll do what you want me to do, or that's okay, it's not important, I don't need to set that boundary, right? We can just stay in that area of discomfort, the area of unknown, in order to allow the process to unfold. And this isn't easy, but we can do it. And there's so much liberation on the other end if we can allow ourselves to do this. And number 3 is really notice where your mind goes at this point. Are you judging yourself of questioning how you're behaving, or you shouldn't have done what you did or said what you said? Or are you assuming what other people are thinking? So really allowing yourself to notice where you're going in your mind here. Because when we can kind of see where our mind is going, we can learn to say, no, mind, I know you're protecting me, but I don't need this right now. I'm going to allow things to unfold. I'm going to see where it's actually going. Okay, so that real noticing. And number 4 is really remembering and self-talk that I can work through this. No matter how scary it is and how uncomfortable this is, I trust myself to say what I need to say, let people respond, let my body feel what it is feeling, let my thoughts go wherever they go. But I know that I can work through this and move myself through to a whole other place in this situation. Maybe you won't solve it right away. Maybe a blow up will happen and there's going to be great discomfort. I know in my current situation, I said what I had to say to my husband, but of course, he had his viewpoint on it, disagreed somewhat how I was seeing the situation. But that was okay. It was like now we were in a different place. I had more information to consider. Maybe I wasn't seeing things as well as I could be. Now I have more information how I could see something. And it's dynamic. It's now you're working on something together. You're in this gray area. It doesn't have to be fixed. It doesn't have to be right or wrong, or you failed or you did well, right? It's just this gray area you're now in. And this is really important to allow yourself to be in order to work and heal things over time. So I want to leave you with that as people pleasers, we tend to feel so threatened and so black and white. But if we can move into this gray area, we really can allow ourselves to grow in our relationships, in our ability to express ourselves, stand up for ourselves, and to express that to other people. So I want to really thank you, if you're still listening, for being here and listening right to the end. And as well, if you really want support in this area in your own life, sign up for a free mini coaching session with me, and I'll leave that link down below. And if you'd like to join my Facebook group where we talk about more topics just like this, I'll leave that link below as well. And as usual, a real reminder to really get on your own side and take care of yourself. Really be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye for now.